Good morning, rise and shine, my friends. Today is Friday, May 10th, and this is Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Catherine Hobbs. Thank you so much for starting your morning with me. Today is going to be nice and sunny with a high of 79, and good weather is going to continue Saturday night before more rain is predicted on Sunday. Humidity is going to be high all weekend, so if you're a curly girl like me, it might be a French braid kind of weekend. Also this weekend is, of course, Mother's Day. I hope all the wonderful mamas out there have a lovely weekend being celebrated by your families. I'm also sending lots of love to anyone who finds Mother's Day to be a tough one. Whether you need ideas for how to celebrate your mom, or if you're looking for a fun solo activity, we have you covered. More on that in a few minutes, but first, let's get you the news you need to start your day. The U.S. Department of Education is seeking to negotiate with Carroll ISD over civil rights complaints. Thursday's announcement follows a years-long investigation into alleged racism and harassment in the district going all the way back to 2021. One of the complainant's attorneys, Allison Schaeferstein with the Legal Defense Fund, said the Office for Civil Rights only initiates negotiations after validating complaints. In an open letter to Carroll ISD, members of two groups that filed the initial complaints urged the district to enter good faith negotiations and agree to remedies to address and prevent discrimination and harassment within the district. Now, KERA did reach out to Carroll ISD for a response, but didn't hear back. Republican Tarrant County Commissioner Manny Ramirez says the sheriff's office needs to do a better job keeping the public and their grieving families informed after someone dies in a county jail. Since Sheriff Bill Wayborn took the office in 2017, more than 60 people have died in custody. Their deaths have cost the county more than $1 million in lawsuit settlements and raised alarm about jail conditions amidst allegations of mistreatment and medical neglect. One of the men who died was Anthony Johnson. He died after jailers pepper sprayed him during a contraband check. On Tuesday, Johnson's family and concerned Tarrant County residents demanded answers from county leaders at an emotional commissioner's court meeting. It's been about 2 years since our neighbors in New Mexico legalized recreational cannabis, and business is booming in the land of enchantment. That's due in part to a steady stream of Texans who have helped fuel the multi-million-dollar industry. So when might Texas do what 24 other states have and make the recreational sales legal? Well, according to some Texas Democrats, the answer is don't hold your breath. The Texas Newsroom's Julian Aguilar has that story.
I'm just a few miles from El Paso at the Yerba Viva dispensary in Sunland Park, New Mexico. It's one of nearly 24 dispensaries that operate here. Since 2022, these Sunland Park shops have generated tens of millions in sales. Armando Flores is a 21-year-old bud tender at Yerba Viva, and he says a lot of his customers come from Texas.
Whether it's people that originate from El Paso or people that are actually traveling out of Central Texas, East Texas into the outskirts, just to visit the casinos, the dispensaries, what they have outside of the states that they can't get in their state.
Sales data from New Mexico backs that up. In the past 2 years, cannabis sales in Sunland Park exceeded $71 million. Now, only about 18,000 people live here. Compare that to Santa Fe's $79 million in sales, and Santa Fe has almost 5 times the population. And while our neighbors are raking in the tax dollars, Texas lawmakers seem to have grown more conservative on the issue. Take 2015, a bill that would have decriminalized cannabis in Texas passed out of a House committee. Though it stood no chance in the Texas Senate, some Democrats hailed that as progress. Then, in 2019, State Representative Joe Moody, an El Paso Democrat, passed a bill to lower marijuana penalties in Texas. But even that measure stalled in the Senate. And since then,
if anything, that hurdle's gotten higher.
There might be some slight hope, emphasis on slight, that the Texas House will entertain a similar measure in next year's legislative session. But Moody says recreational use and sales aren't anywhere on the horizon.
I think it's a hard no from the governor's mansion on retail. I think it is a hard no from the Senate on retail. I don't know how that vote would come down on the House.
For Texans like Andy Armendariz, one of several customers I met at Sunland Park dispensaries, this doesn't make a lot of sense.
It's not that big of a deal. It's not a gateway drug. I've been smoking weed and I have not moved on to anything else.
And he has a simple message for Texas lawmakers who want to keep cannabis illegal in Texas.
Get over it.
Until that happens, Texas will keep driving across the border to spend their money at New Mexico dispensaries.
That was the Texas Newsroom's Julian Aguilar. Y'all, both the Mavs and the Stars won the second game of their respective playoffs last night. The Mavs beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 119 to 110. Meanwhile, the Stars beat the Avalanche 5-3. Both teams have now evened their series. Penguin breeding programs around the world are in a race against time to create genetically diverse captive populations, but one day might just save the species in case of an extinction event. One of the most endangered species is the African penguins, who call the coast of South Africa home. But there's very cute news for the species out of Boston, where 4 new penguin mamas will celebrate their first Mother's Day after chicks hatched at the New England Aquarium this week. Penguins are known to be some of the best parents in the animal kingdom, so they're all sure to have a very special weekend celebrating. All right, y'all, and as promised, here are some ideas to help celebrate your mama or treat yourself to a fun weekend adventure. My top 2 picks are the Bush Presidential Library's guided garden tour or the Fort Worth Symphony's immersive 3D performance that brings artwork to life. If you want more ideas or more info on either of those suggestions, check out kera.org/calendar. Thank you so much for starting your day with me today. I'm so glad you take a few minutes to listen each morning. Be sure to subscribe to Wake Up with KERA's newsletter at keranews.org and check us out on Instagram and Threads at KERATX. I'm Katherine Hobbs. We'll chat again Monday.